Why don't we, get a warm intro into the topic by just, if you don't mind, from your side, what is the one myth about AI in recruiting that you would love to, make sure that it's put to bed today?
Well, I think what starts the whole ball rolling when it comes to AI is I think people look at it as a way of cost savings. You know, maybe if we use an AI tool here or a AI bot there, we can save money, save headcount. And I think that whole approach is absolutely wrong. If you're looking at ways to save money, I think the approach is just not the approach you need. The approach that you need is, would a tool like this bring more value to my customer? Would a tool like this streamline a process and speed up the hiring? And if you start to look at it from a value added perspective, then I think, AI becomes, a tool in the toolkit. Pivot and Edge has, I don't know, a dozen different pieces of software in our stack. And, literally every quarter, we task someone in the company to look at another piece of software, see if it brings value to us. And if it brings value to us and our customer, then we incorporate it into the operational part of our process. I look at AI as a very similar to that. And I think if we look at it and we can determine that it in fact will bring value to our customers in certain ways, we will adopt it. But it's certainly not a save money first approach to it.
Yeah, and one of the things, I mean, you hit a very important point, is that there is a race, and you and I agree to that, right? So there's a race. Everybody's racing to that whole cost savings, and I think in the speed of cost savings, it's like a bull in a china shop. We're breaking a whole bunch of things on the way to cost savings. It's like we're driving a highway of, oh, I want to get to that destination. It's called the utopia of cost savings, and I'm going to employ or deploy AI in any way possible. And in the meantime, while I'm rushing, breaking the speed limits on the highways of deploying things, there are many things are going bad in the process. And you bring a very valid point: is where is the value? Is it creating value to my internal team, or my customers, or the market that I'm serving? People ignore that, and I feel it, like, and even on the language side of things, not just in the recruiting side of things, people are like, just, yeah, you know what, the delta between the cost now and the cost after I deploy this thing is really huge. It's hard to ignore that. But for the sacrifice of that delta of cost savings, people are also sacrificing other things: value, quality, the right fit in your environment, right? Which brings me to the next one. Like, where is it being used today, AI wise, and it's in your world, and it's being used successfully? Can you say it's in sourcing and screening, outreach, assessments? I'm sure there's a lot of human interface with the technology. So, but where is AI is being used successfully in your area?
So, we see it leaking into all aspects of recruiting, and different organizations are using it in different ways. But if I take the pivot and edge perspective for just a minute, if you believe in our model, and you know, I like to use the term, pivot and edge finds believers. So if you think that we can find your believer, the person that works in your organization, that believes in your culture, believes in your vision, your values, and we do that through storytelling with the CEO or the C-suite. I can't imagine a president or a CEO of any customer of ours that would want a bot in between their story and a candidate. There's just no way that that bot can translate that story, that vision, that cultural fit uh, as well. And so, from our perspective, I'll take it from a pivot and edge.